Welcome to another episode of Schuck on a Truck. I'm Muddy River Sports Editor Matt Schuckman. Joining me today, one of the soccer legends in Quincy from one of the most historic soccer families around, Matt Longo. Thanks for hanging out on the tailgate and chatting with me, buddy.
You're the man. We've done a lot of stuff, but this might top it all.
This is fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I enjoy all the casts. I enjoy doing it. I'm just honored that you would even take an old retired coach and give him a chance to talk about whatever.
Well, we've had a lot of chance over the years for, what now, 35 years?
Oh, at least
something like that,
years.
To talk about a variety of things. One thing we always talk about is Cardinal baseball. Are they teasing us? Are they sucking us back in?
I don't know. I've had so many different posts I put. I'm like a roller coaster. Today I'm on the high of that roller coaster.
Yeah, I know.
And I just wonder. You know, you look at Lester last night. You look at his first start that he came over, and I thought, what did we spend this money on?
I think we all did.
And then all of a sudden, his last couple starts, and I mean, things are really looking good. But I agree with you. Is it a tease? Is it a tease?
They just keep sucking you back in.
I know.
Are we going to get to that last weekend of baseball and they're going to suck the life out of us? Or are they going to inject us with October spirit?
You know what? We've been around long enough.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
I'm
We've
ready.
seen both sides
I'm ready for a Red October.
It would be fun to do. And I mean, there's all the makings. If there's a hot team in baseball that is playing with confidence, you go with the catch last night that they took away the home run.
Right.
You just build on little things like that. You know, in coaching, that's the things that coaches talk about. It's the little things that make the big things good. And the little things right now for the Cardinals are going good.
Are you surprised when Lars Nootbaar makes great plays that somebody isn't going, what would you do for Lars Nootbaar?
Well, give it a chance. These guys, they got 15 games left?
Yeah.
15 games left. I think 7 are against the Brewers.
Yes.
Which is nice, but we know we can't catch them.
No,
Our concern are the Padres and the Reds.
Yeah, you got to be concerned about the wild card.
Yes.
And that's your focus right now. You have a different focus going on right now. You have a lot of stuff going on. Even though you're retired, you're still coaching and helping out with the John Wood soccer programs. How's that going?
I've been blessed to have the opportunities that I had. I mean, I was over at Culver helping Tyler Tomlinson. Now I got a chance to help Bob, help me at Quincy High School, and Haley Womack. So I've learned a lot. And in all honesty, the last 6 or 7 years that I've been out of it, I've probably learned more about coaching that I would incorporate if I were a young coach from the people that I've worked with the last few years. About how they do things and how they work with kids and how they do team bonding and how they handle situations, because I handled high school kids.
Right.
These coaches are dealing with college kids, international kids on both sides, and dealing with what they have to go through. So if I were a young coach and I was going to go back into coaching, what I've learned, I would incorporate that into my repertoire, I guess is the word I want to use in my coaching.
You've spent a lifetime coaching. Was that something, obviously, your dad is one of the reasons Quincy soccer has such a strong soccer community, such a strong legacy with the sport. Your dad helped build that here in Quincy. Was there ever a doubt you were going to go into soccer coaching, or was there something else that interested you?
Soccer all the way.
Soccer all the way.
I knew I wanted to get in coaching. I knew that I wanted to. I hate using the word coach. It's more like teach. You want to teach them the game that you learn from so many people. Jack McKenzie, my dad, Al Nebler. I mean, I hate mentioning names because there's so many people that have taught me so much that I've tried to incorporate that into what I'm doing with those kids and try to give them experience. I tell people, I don't coach to help tell people, hey, we won last night 2-1.
Right.
I coach because I can say the kids were successful and they did what we're trying to teach them to do.
And we've seen that over the years. I've seen that with your kids, the ones you celebrate who have gone on to get a college degree, to play in college, who've gone on to the military, who've done, not just play soccer at the next level, but you celebrate their accomplishments, whether it's on the soccer field or life.
Oh yeah, it's funny that I get text messages, random text messages from former players, and Dad and Jack McKenzie saw that. They've got lawyers, they've got doctors, they've got a common worker, and a lot of people call and say, hey, Coach, I just want to tell you, I incorporate some of this stuff. Donovan Bradshaw went on to coach and won 3 state championships.
That's right.
Funny story, I went over there to watch a basketball Midwest Regional over there in Tulsa. and he said we could stay at their house.
Okay.
So we drove to his house, got there. He says, Coach, the key's underneath the mat, go on in. Your room's upstairs to the right. And I walk into the room. He's got his state championship trophy sitting there.
Really?
And I texted him. I said, you're just rubbing it in on me.
Now, did he have any of his Blue, because he's a Blue Devil Hall of Famer, did he have any Blue Devil memorabilia around?
No, not at that time. But
we're
I'm
gonna
sure if
work
I
on
went
that.
over there, he would do it. So it's just neat to run into kids that you haven't seen in a while that have their own kids, or they're posting stuff, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, of their kids doing a sport, whether it be soccer, baseball, it doesn't matter. But it's neat to see those kids grow up. And I've been blessed to watch a lot of kids grow up.
I want to talk a little bit more about the family legacy and how soccer has influenced your family. First, we need to take a break real quick to let our sponsor, Advanced Physical Therapy, hear from them, because they are a great sponsor and great for the community.
Mackenzie Little here, athletic trainer with Advanced Physical Therapy. You can catch me across the river on the sidelines of Palmyra and Highland High School games. Go Panthers and Cougars!
We're back on Schuck on a Truck. I'm joined by Matt Longo, legendary soccer coach. Wave to the camera. You can get away with whatever you want.
I know people are waving back or doing other things toward me.
Well, they're usually waving a bird at you. That's happened a few times in your career.
That's all right. That's all part of coaching. That's all part of teaching.
We mentioned your dad, Frank Longo, such a influence on you, on your family. You look at it, your kids all played soccer, your nieces and nephews played soccer, your brother-in-law coached soccer, your brother coaches soccer, your nephews coach soccer. What is it about the sport that has drawn this family together?
It was just in our blood. We saw it, we lived around it, and we saw the success at Quincy College. And when you see that success, you say to yourself, "Boy, I'd like to have my own program and do stuff like that." Mark's done great over at Quincy Notre Dame.
No question.
A legend with his program over there.
No question.
Chad Schuck, my nephew, is doing great at Quincy High. His dad, Randy, was the coach too. Nieces and nephews have all played. It's just something that we saw and we got to experience it. And when you experience that, you say to yourself, I'd like to do that. Not that I want people to say, "Oh, you took his team to a state tournament." It's just like, he's got a good program because his kids are polite, they're correct, they do what they're supposed to do, they pick their bench up after the game.
Yeah.
All the little things that you learn, and going back to what I said, it's the little things that make the big picture so much better, and that's one thing that we've stressed. And now that I'm assistant, I even stress it even more with the coaches, and they do the same thing. We played last night, and before we left, we make sure that bench was spotless. And I think that's all part of growing up and maturing kids.
It leaves a lasting impression.
Yes,
if you are a home crowd, a home administration, and the visiting team takes care of itself, cleans up after itself, it leaves a strong impression.
Yeah, and I think it develops that discipline that you want in kids, so that if a situation occurs on the field, they're not going to cut the corner short and try to do that instead of saying, "You know what, he told me to take the ball down to the goal line, I'm taking it all the way down to the goal line."
Yeah.
Not 5 yards out, not 10 yards out.
Right.
And I think that all starts with what you do at practice, how you carry yourself on the bus, how you go when you go and eat at a restaurant, and how you play on the field. That all adds up to building a program.
Best piece of advice you ever got from your dad?
You can say anything you want, anytime you want, as long as you say it the right way.
I like that.
Yeah, that's probably.
And that sounds like your dad.
Yes, it is.
It sounds like your dad.
You can say anything you want, anytime you want, as long as it's said in the right way. Speak to someone like you want to be spoken to, and I think that carries a lot in my mind to try to carry that. Now, I'm not always perfect with that.
None of us are.
But at the same time, I try to do it.
I like that because I got to know your dad. Since he has passed away, there are people in the next generation and stuff. Your grandkids will never get to know their great-grandfather, that kind of stuff. I had the privilege of having your dad as, I don't know what they call it, study hall monitor,
Right.
Whatever his
Drove
title
that little
was.
blue truck too.
Oh yeah,
out
he
in the
did.
parking
He
lot.
did.
Yes,
But
he did.
he and I would sit and talk sports
Uh-huh.
and during study hall, because that was him, and it was fantastic. And knowing your dad and knowing the way he carried himself, the way he presented himself, he's a fine man.
It's pretty impressive. March 21st, 1999. Seems like yesterday.
Wow.
And
It's been that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
One of the neat things is the amount of people that he has met in his life. And one quick story, and I still get chills thinking about it. It's Quincy Conference. Remember when we had the Quincy Conference? He was on a committee called the Valvoline Committee, and each sport, soccer, basketball, all had a representative.
Okay.
And he ended up talking to this gentleman who was on that committee to come to Quincy to speak at the Quincy conference.
Okay.
That gentleman was John Wooden.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sitting in our living room at our house. One of his favorite meals is spaghetti.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
We all knew that.
And there we are sitting in our living room. My mom made great spaghetti and probably still does, but I don't know how much she cooks anymore.
Okay.
And we're sitting there with John Wooden in our house eating spaghetti. I mean, those people that know John Wooden, what a thrill. But I've met a lot of other people through him as well.
Oh.
But that right there.
But what you realize in that moment, John Wooden, a legend, amazing legend.
Oh yeah.
Your dad, a legend
Yeah.
in the soccer community, but they're just guys,
Just people.
just people. And you can sit and talk with them, and they're just people. Whether they kicked a ball, whether they shot a basketball, whether they coached it, whether they hit a baseball out of the park 700 times, they're still people. And if you get them in a conversation, they're just people.
You know, God love my wife. I always told her over the years of coaching, I said, if I ever walk into a facility, a restaurant, grocery store, and act like, hey, I'm Matt Longo, I'm the soccer coach at Quincy High School, just slap me and put me down on the ground. And I think that's what I learned from Dad.
Oh, yeah.
Is don't act like you're somebody. Just be the person that you want to be. And it's nice, it's neat when you walk into a place, say, hey, Coach Longo, nice job last night, or
Yeah.
congratulations. That's fun to hear. But don't walk in and say, hey, I'm here. And I think I've learned that well over the years.
My dad turns 85 later this year, and I look, and I'm privileged to still be able to spend time with him and talk to him every day and stuff. But I think of the lessons I've learned from him
It's unbelievable.
and how you treat people, and that's so. Again, we come from similar backgrounds,
Oh, yeah.
similar fathers in that sense, and I think we all understand that's why you're able to sit and have a conversation like this.
And it's easy to do.
Oh, yeah.
If you've got that personality, you should be able to. My wife always says, there's not a place you don't go that somebody doesn't walk up and say hi. Referee last night walked up and said, hey, Coach Longo, I come up to Burlington, the referee up there. I said, Jacob, right? That was his name. I said, yeah. It's fun to go to different places, and always there's somebody there. And
we were at Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs.
uh-huh.
My in-laws and my sister-in-law and my niece went inside with my wife to the visitor center. I sat outside and people watched. And they come out, and I'm talking to somebody, and they're like, did you strike up a conversation? I'm like, no, they actually recognized me from, and they, were from this area. When we were in Yellowstone, we ran into people from Brown County.
It's fun.
And you just, it is. It's wonderful.
It's neat, and you build that. I mean, I've done this for 41 years of coaching,
Right.
and leading up to that, the high school, you meet a lot of friends. So it's cool to do it. I was fortunate. I've had good players. I've had some great coaches over the years, and I've had some darn good administrators that have been very supportive.
Did you ever have a moment at any point in time where you went, hey, maybe I'll do something other than coach? If so, what would it have been?
Well, that's a great question, Matt. You're putting me on the spot there. I don't know if I've done it for so long.
Right.
I don't know if there'd been anything else that I really would like to do. Maybe broadcasting, because I always enjoyed listening to the Hawks on the radio. WGEM carried us back then. Ralph
Right.
Oakley was the voice.
That's right.
And their Jim and Testy was there that
yeah.
covered those games. I guess I always thought, that would be fun to do. And I got the opportunity to do that for 14 years.
Yep.
So I don't know. It's just coaching was in the blood, and I knew it, and I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to make an impact on kids' lives, and I'm in my 40. Started in '81, so 40 years,
Yeah.
41
Wow.
plus years, and
That's awesome.
I don't think I'd change a whole lot.
That's awesome. Very well said. Well, Matt, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. Appreciate you taking the time to chat with me.
It's always fun talking with you. You know
That's-
that.
you got it.
We keep in touch with each other.
We'll definitely keep in touch. This has been another episode of Schuck on a Truck, brought to you by Advanced Physical Therapy. Join us again. I'm Matt Schuckman, editor of Muddy River Sports. Have a good one.